San Francisco Peace and Hope is a wonderful anthology. I've known about it since before it became a printed entity, and I met Elizabeth years back, and she was talking about this project, and I liked the idea. And then at one point, I think I innocently said, "Say, wouldn't it be great to have this in print?" And she said, "Wow, what a great idea." She probably didn't know how much work was going to be involved with that. But I mean, the first issue that came out, it was absolutely beautiful. This issue here, it's just like you go like this, and the pages feel good, the layout's great, the pictures are wonderful, the editing is great, the content is wonderful. You know, it's a beautiful, wonderful piece of work. It's an artistic collection of many, many fine pieces. And then how they're arranged is another set. Elizabeth, give her a really wonderful warm welcome here.
Tonight we gather, reflect, and celebrate poetry. We have experienced a whirlwind of a week that's been incredible with the election and all that's happened. First of all, I want to express my deepest prayers to the victims of the attack on the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh. Chilling and horrific, along with all the hatred and chaos thrown upon us. A poet recently told me he was at a loss as to what to write about lately. Really, it's not here, that's for sure, with all these amazing poems that everybody's reading, but it's been quite a time right now. Having featured poets from the new book, San Francisco Peace and Hope, Like the Sky. And here it is. And so now let's begin. The first featured poet is James Berkowitz. And he came all the way from Los Angeles.
Oh my goodness. And he's new. This is his first time here, ladies and gentlemen.
A celebration of souls. Welcome to the realm of love and light. Footsteps in motion, jubilant, crossing back and forth, grace with every turn as the beat of life pulses with motherly love. The perfect dance, a celebration of souls, an embrace of grandeur painted with each breath, as precious moments light the way far beyond the human eye, where dancing tides swirl from the echoing heart, and the everlasting joy of human connection resides amidst a constellation of stars. One language called harmony transcended the borders of native-speaking tongues and carried a melodious tune around the globe. One heart pulsed harmony, carrying a beat in lifelong rhythm, transcending the drum of the soul. One language called harmony, harmony called a fluttering butterfly in the perfume-scented wind, blowing away the veil, revealing her heart. Conversation with the sea. Have you ever engaged in a conversation with the sea, where all thoughts transacted flowed with ease? Understanding is mutual and done in grace, as light passages illuminate through the running waves. Deep, alluring, turquoise view, reminiscing muses of a world sinew, with a spiritual elevation only the towers of love can reach, while crashing waves of delight sparkle across the silver beach. Pebbles recede in a shaken rainstick song, and seashells echo over and beyond. Love, love, love is the way, a saltwater transfusion relieving minds that hate. Listen, listen, listen to my words. I am the ocean, your friend on a constant course, sharing and giving soul-cleansing ways to a universal power above the sun-beaming rays. This next poem is the very first poem I ever read in public. It is a eulogy to my mother. It's called Circle of Love. A picture of you, a smiling face, Your dancing shadow leaves a trace. Your father's torch will keep you warm through the cold and the harm. In this circle of love where the flowers grow, in this circle of love where the heart shows, there's a poem of love that's only real, where the flowers blossom in the I love you. Thank you very much. Oh my goodness. For you, sir. The next two are from San Francisco Peace and Hope, courtesy of Elizabeth, the visionary. This one's called The Inner Sun. I like you, but not that much. The inner sun rises from deep within the soul, bringing all that comes with the dawn. It shines brightly through the eyes while glowing around the body during its peak. At sunset, it evokes a light beam of energy that pierces through the dusk at an exponential power and shimmers with ultimate passion amidst the stars. And this is the last one. It is in this lovely book. How many people here have this in their collection? Raise your hands. If you don't, there is a table right here with Elizabeth and Philip Lowenthal. This one's called Tears for Peace. And boy, does the world need it. We need a whole lot of healing and a whole lot of love. Tears for peace run down the face of humanity. Crying wounds of hate seek impossible escape. When the light of the soul quenches the darkness of barbaric ways, tears for peace run down the face of humanity. Oh, sweet world, gift of life and mind, remove evil teachings from the eyes of humankind. Lift us from the dust of earth. Return us from the heavenly skies. Embrace the call to oneness in the sharing of eternal life. Tears for peace run down the face of humanity. Down the face of humanity run tears for peace. Tears for peace. Peace for tears. Tears for peace. Peace or tears. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Thank you, Elizabeth Huff. Show this woman some love. Dan Brady, our host.
Most of us know of Marvin R. Heimstra,
Yes.
Yeah.
Marvin Heimstra. Do we know him?
a poet, humorist, editor, and social analyst living in San Francisco. He is an honors graduate from Iowa Writers Workshop, founding editor-in-chief of the Bay Area's Poet Seasonal Review, and his work is published around the world. He has received critical acclaim with his performances and his DVD, French Kiss Destiny. Here is Marvin R. Heimstra.
Good. Marvelous Marvin.
Titled My Best Audience. Where the heaven is my audience? She's painting mandalas on her toenails and reading Carl Gustav Jung to Kitty in a bombed out garden. He's doing chin-ups after a run around the lake. Didn't trip on a landmine today. The mountain is sleeping in. Cougar wiped out in her den. Bighorn ram winks at his rival. Where is the audience? Ah, here it is, the kind. Sky, blue sky. Angels with human pretensions. Poor devils. The deep blue sea. Especially the jellyfish. They've read all my books. On quiet tropical nights, the jellies chant my entire opus from the top. This is my poem in the book titled Don't Bounce a Mirrored Ball. Beg the soldiers to forget the flashy trick step of death. In the innocent eyes of a third-year poetry student, the soldiers are about to kill. Beg the soldiers to remember the smooth trick step of life. Blissful in a disco with soldiers from every single country on the mirrored ball we cling to. The question is, how many poets have been killed since the first axe was thrown? And this is the poem about understanding. Title, A Fly Speck on Your Online Resume. Or just try to get rid of it. If you think you are a poet, you have a splendid flaw. All you can do is sleep on it and wake up with your flaw refreshed and ready to go. Be that as it may, if any of you should think for 1 minute that your flaw is bigger than my flaw, get over it. Hatched in a pawn shop on top of a plugged-in guitar. It was lime green. Ouch! I hatched in a repossessed neon purple Porsche at midnight. Hatched on plane, tornado pickup teepee. Tornado carry teepee 4 mile. No drop baby. No drop feather. No drop bee. How? Your flaw is your calling card. Online, offline, or come on over for an iced latte. That's about it, but always keep your flaw safe and sound under your pillow. You never know when you might need it. Haven't found your flaw? Don't fret. It will find you. Final words of understanding. Every poet appears only once on the path. Embrace that poet's words in the sacred space between your ears. Thank you all.
We are so lucky to have Karen Elizabeth Huff tonight with us. She is a poet, San Francisco poet, writer, and teacher. She believes that music, art, and storytelling are the webs with which we weave connection, culture, and wisdom. Her work has been published in anthologies and magazines over the last 3 decades. She says that her poem, Imaginary Friends, in the new San Francisco Peace and Hope anthology, is one small strand that arose from the perpetual speculation, what if? And here is Karen Elizabeth Huff.
So this is my Steamy Windows poem. It is a balmy 94 degrees Fahrenheit at Gustavo Diaz Ordaz International Airport, and the barometer is playing Catch Me If You Can. No one else seems even a bit unnerved by the phenomena, but it is raining inside the airplane. I am not talking about a stray drop of moisture here and there, but a warm, steady drizzle that leaves your shirt as damp as if you'd been running for miles in the heat. Makes my hair wild and curly, which is not a bad thing, and leaves me speculating how much effort the besuited banker across the aisle is expending to look nonchalant about it all, as trumpet vines curl gracefully from the seat back up to the luggage compartment. A small yellow snake slithers unobtrusively down the back of his gray herringbone jacket, and a green iguana licks her lips, eyeing the blooms that emerge approximately 42 seconds apart. The pilot's sexy voice, only one octave below a serenade, announces that seatbelts must be fastened. Margaritas will be dispensed from the screen in front of you when altitude is obtained, and we are not responsible for the invasion of your dreamscapes by any of the botanical or zoological songs of Jalisco, nor for the phenomena that you are compelled to return against your will and pray to geckos whenever they appear. Imaginary friends. Remember, he said, when my imaginary friend and yours played with us and that big box of refrigerator came in? You said it was a castle, and I knew it was a fort, but it was not worth arguing about. His twins sit in the corner under a bush, intent on some concoction of twigs and leaves, talking, but only rarely to each other. They have them too. Do they tell you? No, I see them sometimes. Not when they come alone, but when their papa brings them. He is a full-grown dragon now, of course, but still, he likes to have peanut butter cookies with me and talk about old times. And this one's from my old neighborhood in West Oakland. It's called West Oakland Sunday. Reverend Laurent's strong voice rises through the clapboard walls of his shabby storefront church, tumbles across 32nd Street, blowing a candy wrapper into the gutter, ruffling the feathers of pigeons who are eating my leftover toast. His voice rises above Cecil's boombox, climbs the side of our building, bursts through my closed kitchen window on this Sunday afternoon with a warrior's cry. I believe.
Yeah.
We are thrilled to present David Walter Robertson, originally from Oxford, Mississippi. He worked at Berkeley National Lab as a researcher and software engineer for most of his career and retired in 2012 to rediscover a love of poetry. He has 2 poems in San Francisco Peace and Hope Light the Sky, Inline and Green Man. Here's David Walter Robertson.
This is his first time here, right? Come on,
So 10 years ago, I tried to get the email address davidrobertson@gmail.com, and it suggested davidrobertson880@gmail.com. So that's why the Walter's there. Okay, these are 2 poems from the anthology, and thank you, Elizabeth. Green Man. Somewhere in the deep dark brown, your roots embrace me in the loam, rising with my heart to sun, though dreaming in the dark and dim. My green face shoots forth twigs and leaves from gnarled and weathered grains of wood, tossed to ground by storm and wind, and rotting surge to leaves again. Every year I settle deep, and no one tills me to rebound. The time for winter and for spring, respiring with the mist and moon. I swallow whole the height of green, to whirl with dying color to the ground. And in the circle dance you dream, translucent in the heart of me. And this one's a newer version of what appears in the anthology. Inline. A phrase slowly coalesces, gathering with the softness of dream. I wake to layered intricacy, slipping from my grasp, fading in the light of day. Follow back the pause to glowing dusk. Let go notice long enough to trace each rippling moment, opalescence by opalescence, receding inward, link by link, until the goal that sought me unveils its pearl of circularity, clasped in lustrous sheen. My soul a path laid open, to the heaven with no other gate, held in my losing any reflection but yours. Thank you.
Thank you. I have two poems. This first one is in the current Journal of Peace and Hope. Thank you, Elizabeth Huff. And it's called Let a Memory Stay a Memory. You can't go home again or recapture the past. It's a fleeting gazelle in an African wild. Like going back to visit Holy Hill, a small Catholic shrine in the Wisconsin countryside. In the 60s, an old church surrounded by thick green woods, an altar piled high with crutches and canes, left there by the cured, intimate, comforting. By the year 2000, it had evolved. 2 levels of parking lots, unsmiling men directing traffic, crowds in the new store of religious artifacts and a cafe. Let a memory be a memory. Can't go back. That was you, whether you like it or not. You ask, can I do it over? It wasn't that much fun. You might get another chance if you believe in the hereafter. Time travel. Only for the fittest. And there's a lot of space out there. Rest with the memories. And I just wrote this a couple of months ago. Hollow and untethered is my country. I thought about Columbus and imagined what he felt like when he got here. I wonder if he is disappointed where he is now, in heaven? Or if he even knows. And when I get there, to heaven, I'll be careful not to tell him. Hardly worth the expedition then. His heart found its way on the map, intuiting oceans and riverways. Columbus didn't discover America. That means 1492 is no longer important. But it's the only date I remember aside from 1066, and I've forgotten what that represents. Yes, my country is untethered, and life seems hollow these days, as if any guts we had have been carved out of the national body of truth. But, and I'm quoting Kierkegaard here, life can only be understood backward, but it must be lived forward. Cheers!
So I want to thank you so much for being here today, tonight, this special, the new Sacred Grounds. And thank you for everybody who, we need a good audience, good listeners. And thank you for everybody who has supported San Francisco Peace and Hope. And we have books actually on the table there.
Copies right
Phil
here.
Lewis, and he's been taking pictures
All filling
tonight
up the
too.
break, man.
And anyway, I appreciate everything that you do here.